Welcome to LSAT Freedom, and thank you for considering our course. What you're about to hear is a sample explanation that's going to be very similar to the over 1,500 LSAT explanations that are contained in the members portion of our LSAT course. The only difference here is that this is a simulated LSAT question, not an actual LSAT question. Only actual LSAT questions are used in our LSAT course. So let's take a quick look at this question number 1. Disease X is a serious problem in Blackacre. However, mammals can be infected with disease X only through vermin such as rats. These vermin get infected when they eat certain foods, but they can't get the disease from humans. The disease was originally found in Whiteacre and spread to Blackacre several years ago. Humans sometimes catch disease X, but it is mostly limited to larger land mammals such as elephants. The statements above, if true, most strongly support which one of the following? So here they present us with a situation or a set of facts and ask us to draw a conclusion based upon that. So we have to pay very careful attention to what's being said, and specifically the force of what's being said with respect to the different elements. So in the very first sentence, it says that mammals can be infected with disease X only through vermin such as rats. So the word only is very strong in this context because it's telling us there's only one way that these mammals can possibly be infected, and that's through vermin. We next find out in the middle of the sentence that the vermin get infected when they eat foods, but they can't get the disease from humans. Absolutely 100% cannot happen, and on the LSAT we have to treat it this way. And finally, we learn that humans sometimes catch disease X, but mostly, generally, it's going to be these larger land mammals such as elephants. So these words only, can't, and sometimes are incredibly important when the passage asks us to draw an inference or a conclusion about what we've just read. And this, we can tell by the language most strongly support, they're asking us to draw an inference based upon those statements. So we have to pay very special attention to those words. With that, let's go on to the answer choices. A. Since it is so rare, disease X is difficult to detect in humans. Well, we learn that the disease is in fact that humans sometimes catch this disease, but we really don't know how rare it is. So that's one reason answer choice A is wrong. Another reason it's wrong is that it concludes that disease X is difficult to detect, and there's absolutely no basis for that. So A is completely wrong. B, disease X is most virulent in those parts of Blackacre with the most vermin. Well, if we read this casually, we might be able to conclude, well, if vermin is causing disease X, if there's more vermin, then there's going to be more disease X, and maybe it'll be stronger. But one thing we cannot do in the LSAT is read casually. We have to be very specific, and on questions such as these that ask you to draw a logical inference, we have to be 100% certain that the answer choice is supported, and there's simply no support that there is this correlation between the amount of vermin and the virulence of the disease. So for that reason, B is not the correct answer. Again, all it says here is that mammals can be infected through vermin. C, disease X was not spread to Blackacre by a human. Well, we know that vermin can't get the disease from humans, and we know that mammals can be infected only through vermin. If vermin can't get the disease from humans, and the only way mammals can be affected is through vermin, then we can conclude safely that the disease was not spread to Blackacre from human, because humans cannot give it to the only cause, to the only thing that can generate the disease in mammals. For that reason, C is the correct answer. D, disease X infects more mammals in Whiteacre than it does in Blackacre. Well, here we know that the disease was originally found in Whiteacre, then it spread to Blackacre. That alone is not enough to conclude that the state of how many people are infected with it, how many mammals are infected with the disease at this point in time. E, disease X will never be a common disease among humans. Of course, we cannot predict the future. Certainly we can't conclude what will never happen based upon just what's given here, so E is incorrect for that reason. We'd love for you to take another look at our site. Hopefully this gives you a sense of what the over 1,500 explanations will look like. This one is specific to logical reasoning. We look forward to you joining our site.